Look, it's about the truth. So I went ahead and made these generations so you'll know what's going on. I'm gonna continue it, but and for the background in. But I want to start with Abraham, and Abraham had two brothers, Abraham and his brother Haran, his older brother. This is Abraham's older brother Haran, and Nahor. So it's Abraham and his two brothers. All right. So this is Abraham brother. In the King James, it tell you that Abraham brother died. In the book of Jasher, it tells you how he died, but he died, and he had his son Lot, who Abraham couldn't have his son, so he took Lot under his wing. And Haran also had two daughters. He had Sarai and Malik. Those are Haran's kids. Haran's dead. All right. So now Haran's kids, which is Lot, and Abraham took his niece, which is Sarai, as a wife, and Nahor took Malik as a wife, because Haran's dead. All right. And he also took in Lot. All right, so on the ventures, Lot goes, by, Jordan, and he wind up in Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot marries one of the Salmonites, which is, the Canaanites, and he had three daughters. He only tell you about his two daughters in the King James. The book of Jasher tell you about his other daughter that was murdered, and they tell you about that. And unfortunately, these two daughters slept with Lot, and they had two kids, Moab and Ammon. So that's the Moabites and Ammonites right there. So that's the generation from Haran, from Lot, his daughters there. So I explain what a bastard is. They are bastards. It's not if your father died makes you a bastard. No, these are bastards because Lot is their grandfather. Because these Lot's daughters, but Lot is also their father. Meaning they don't have a father, meaning they're bastards. So now you understand what a bastard is. It's not about like kids in wedlock. That's marriage and shit, but that's a true bastard because it has no father. All right, that's why I send to sleep with your daughters and your sons and shit as wives. All right, so let's continue. So Abraham couldn't have a kid. That's why he brought Lot. So they took Sarai in Egypt, the king, and they set her free. And they wound up giving Sarai a servant, Hagar, an Egyptian woman. So Abraham slept with Hagar because Sarai told him to, and married her. And they had a firstborn Ishmael. And in his wax old age, he also had Isaac. And when Isaac was born, Abraham sent Eliezer to go find a wife for Isaac when he was a little boy. So they found Rebekah, and this is where they found Rebekah. He went to Nahor's home, Nahor's house, where Laban, which is Nahor's son, and Rebekah, and Isaac married her. So it's still in the gene. They're not marrying like Egyptians is that way, and Canaanites is over there, but it's still in the bloodline. That's Abraham's brother, and that's Abraham's kids. So Isaac marries Rebekah, and then they give birth. So Sarah, they give, so Isaac marries Rebekah, and then they have twins, all right? And they have Esau and Jacob. So it's if you notice that I got the Hamites as darker brown, the Africans, the dark browns, and I have the lighter browns as the Israelites and the Japheth and the line of Shem. But of course I'm going to have Esau as red as what red flesh is, so you'll know. So two twins came from Isaac and Rebekah, Esau and Jacob, but his name is Israel now because the Most High changed it. So Esau took three wives, took a Canaanite wife, two Canaanite wives from Ham, and also took an Ishmaelite wife from one of the children of Ishmael, and he had his sons. Eliphaz's son is Zepho, is the grandson, who's the most important out of them, kind of like Manasseh and Ephraim from the 12 tribes, but it goes Esau, Eliphaz, and then Zepho. All right, so these are the red kids. You see how Esau is completely red, the original red. And once you mingle with these other nations, two types, the Ishmaelites and the Canaanites, and you have darker, redder, and darker. So as you see, this flesh over time is going to be almost like this, but it's still going to be red flesh, period. So we look at Israel, and Israel went to Laban's house because fearing Esau would kill him, and Laban is Rebekah's brother. And so Jacob took his cousins from Laban. It's just like that. That's not his cousin. His father's seed is here. You know what I mean? That's Rebekah's brother. You know what I'm saying? He has his own nutsack and his own bloodline. He's no longer a part of that. So that's why you gotta understand what incest is as well. So you'll understand what incest is, you understand what a bastard is, so you understand what Leviticus says about these things. So he went there and took Rachel and Leah. Leah, the firstborn, Rachel is who he wanted to be with. And it was a few, and they had their own servants. So Jacob wound up having 12 sons, Reuben all the way down to Benjamin. And these are the 12 tribes of Israel. So when you know what I'm saying, so you'll understand who Judah is. This is Judah, the fourth born. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. The priesthood is Levi, but Judah's here. So Judah is who we are. We're not Benjamin. We're not Reuben. We're not the Hamites. We're not the Ishmaelites. We're not the Moabites or the King or the Ammonites. We're not the Lavian seed. All right, we're none of these people. All right, so I forgot to tell you, when Sarah died, you know, he's by himself now. So Abraham took another wife, Keturah, and he had additional sons. These are the like Median, and that's where the priest like Balaam comes from. This area, Median. That's what from the tribe of Levi. When you get Moses, that's where he go find his wife from in Median when he fled from Pharaoh. So Moses is still within the same tribe, the seed of Abraham. Moses didn't go over there and marry these people. He stayed within the seed. These are kids of Abraham. So there's more sons, 6 more sons of Abraham here. These are the grandchildren of Abraham. All the Edomites, all the Israelites, all his kids with Keturah, and all the Ishmaelites. That's the seed of Abraham. See, the Moabites and the Ammonites and the Hamites, like Ethiopia and Egyptian, the Mazarine and Put and Cush and all of Africa, they're not a part of this. You know what I'm saying? These people, they bonded. See, and it goes down from all this basically to this, because the Most High made promises to Abraham. Then he made promises to Isaac. Then he made promises to Israel. Then he made promises to the children. Then he made promises from them. So I'm going to keep going down the line. I'll probably eventually go past Moses, and then I'll get to King David. But this is the lineage, so you'll know who's who. Because everyone can't be Jews. This is Judah here. That guy. That's Judah. You know, this graven image, but that's Judah. You know what I'm saying? So when people say they Jews with that shit on their head, they got to be this color, number one. They can't look like this and claim to be Jews. Because they not. The lineage don't go this way. There's no way this man going to be the Jew. So I'm going to finish this joint up.